From mocking the most controversial film producer in Hollywood,
Just let me finish, Dave Chapelle. I'll put you in all three Lord of the Rings.
to obliterating Rachel Dolezal for all her lies,
It's just in the news all the time. I just wanted to have dinner with her so I could just look in her eyes, call her a nigger to her face.
here are 8 times Dave Chappelle roasted disrespectful celebrities to a crisp.
This could happen to any of us. It could happen to me. I can see that. I see myself showing up. Hi, I'm here for my 3 a.m. with Mr. Weinstein. Hey, Harvey, I got your text. I'm here to talk about the script.
Dave's diving into the Harvey Weinstein topic, and you could tell he's gonna hit hard.
Seems like it's gonna be hard to read in candlelight, but I guess I could try. Sound like a nightmare. Could you imagine that shit? Could you imagine if you was in a business meeting and a pulled their out
Well, that's Weinstein for you.
in the middle of the meeting? I'd be like, yo, my man, this is the most unprofessional shit I've ever seen in all my days.
Just let me finish, Dave Chapelle. I'll put you in all three Lord of the Rings.
Hurry up, nigga. I have other meetings tonight.
Yikes.
I have a 4:30 a.m. at Brett Ratner's house. And, I believe it's wardrobe fitting.
Classic David. The next one on Dave's obliteration list is Jussie Smollett.
Just afraid of being attacked. Happens to the best of us. Don't ever forget what happened to that French actor. You know what I'm talking about? Juicy Smollett. He's a very famous French actor.
In case you missed it, Jussie Smollett faked a hate crime against himself, got caught, and now Dave Chappelle is handing him the attention he craved from the start.
Y'all never heard of Juicy Smollett? Juicy Smollett is an actor from France. And he became famous on a show called Empire. One night, he was in Chicago late at night and was the victim.
Even Dave couldn't stop himself from breaking into laughter at Jussie's stupidity.
He was the victim of a racist and homophobic attack. You see, Juicy Smollett is gay and he is black, not just French.
The story Jussie spun was as bizarre as it gets.
Oh, it was a crazy story. Apparently, when he was walking down the street late at night, 2 white men came out of the shadows with MAGA hats on and beat him up. Tied a rope around his neck, called him all kinds of niggas, and put some bleach on him and ran off into the night.
And that's the power of modern rage bait culture. People react first, facts don't matter, and the story spreads like wildfire.
This shit was like international news. And everybody was furious, especially in Hollywood. It's all over everybody's Twitter feed and Instagram page. Justice for Juicy and all this shit.
Jussie got the clout he wanted. Little did he know that soon it would backfire.
And for some reason, African Americans, we were oddly quiet.
Wondering why? Well, here's your answer.
We were so quiet about this shit that the gay community started accusing African American community of being homophobic for not supporting him. What they didn't understand is that we were supporting him with our silence because we understood that this nigga was clearly lying.
Dave walked everyone through the scenario before he started torching the guy.
None of these details added up at all. He said he's walking down the street in Chicago and white dudes come up to him and say, "Hey man, aren't you that faggot nigger from Empire?" Does that sound like how white people talk?
No, it doesn't.
I know white people. They don't talk like that. Are you that faggot nigga from Empire? They would never say that. It sounds like something that I would say. If you're racist and homophobic, you're not even gonna know who this nigga is. You can't watch Empire.
Touché. You really have to wonder what was going through Jussie's mind when he filed that report.
If you was a police veteran taking this kid's police report, okay, Mr. Smouillet, please tell me what happened. You left the house at 2 a.m. It's minus 16 degrees. Right. You were walking. All right.
16 degrees? Okay, who in their sane mind goes out in 16 degrees to get sandwiches? Fishy, fishy.
And where were you going? Subway. Sandwiches? That's when the men approached you? Did you see them? Do you have any? Okay, what they have on? MAGA hats. MAGA hats on in Chicago. Excuse me 1 second, Mr. Smouillet. Frank, come here for a second.
Oh, Dave, you're a legend. And speaking of legends, how can we forget the person who broke the internet with a smack? Yeah, let's move on to Will Smith.
God bless her, but my wife is mistaken about my life. She told me once she thinks my job is fun. My job is a job. I'm fun. It's too dangerous, man.
Dave Chapelle is on stage, being hilarious as usual, but he has 2 cents on the whole Will Smith-Chris Rock situation. And spoiler alert, it ain't pretty.
With arguably one of the greatest, if not the greatest living comedian, Chris Rock. Me and him toured all year last year. And right before that tour started, Chris was involved in what we blacks might even consider a goddamn.
This controversy sent the entire internet and the world into a frenzy. Oh, but trust me, after Dave is done with this roast, no frenzy will match its wildness.
Chris got slapped in the face at the Oscars by Will Smith, which was one of the craziest things I'd ever seen. In fact, if you watch it live on television like I did, when it happened, I thought it was fake. And I thought it was fake. I didn't know. So I asked him, I go, well, you know. He said, what? I said, well, did it hurt? And he said, yes, nigga, it hurt. And then I knew that it was real. And then, and only then, was I offended.
It isn't unusual for certain bits to be staged at the Oscars. But what happened after Dave realized it wasn't staged? Well, he was actually offended.
And I wasn't just offended that he got slapped. That was only half of it. The real offensive part was that after they slapped him, this nigga Will just sat down and enjoyed the rest of his evening. It was crazy. It was just... And then all year.
True. Makes you wonder if it was more about attention than genuine anger.
For 3 months before that, I'd been making fun of Chris Rock. And people would ask me all the time. They'd say, Dave, what would you do if you were Chris Rock and Will Smith slapped you in the face? And to this day, the answer is the same.
Wait for it, and boom.
Well, I don't know what I would have done. I've never been in a situation that extreme. But I do know now what Will Smith would not have done. And that is enjoy the rest of his evening.
And trust me, folks, Will Smith is small potatoes next to Dave's, let's say, discomfort with Caitlyn Jenner.
True joke. I mean, it's not true, but I had read in the paper that Caitlyn Jenner was contemplating posing nude in an upcoming issue of Sports Illustrated. And I know it's not politically correct to say these things, so I just figured, fuck it, I'll say it for everybody else. Yuck.
Dave's on stage and everyone knows he loves roasting Jenner. So when Kate sparks yet another controversy, Dave isn't about to let it slide.
But I wasn't saying anything like Caitlyn Jenner's a bad person. I'm not mad at her for doing it. Not even mad at Sports Illustrated. If I'm mad at somebody, I'm probably just mad at myself. You understand? Because deep down, I know that I am not strong enough to not look at those pictures.
Honestly, Dave's like fine wine. He and his comedy just keep getting better with time.
And I don't think I'm ready to see what she's trying to show me. So Caitlyn, goddamn it, if you go through with this thing, bitch, you better go hard or go home.
Uh-oh. I know that look. It's screaming, brace yourself, a comedy bomb is coming.
I want you to go all the way. Hustler style. Do you know what hustler style means, miss? That means spread the lips, All she spreads her lips and there's an itty bitty dick inside. Ah!
See? Told ya.
The show is behind the curtains.
Somebody hand Caitlyn a box of Band-Aids. Because, well, Dave isn't done roasting her. He's about to torture some more.
Gender is a fact. You have to look at it from a woman's perspective. Look at it like this. Caitlyn Jenner, whom I've met, wonderful person.
Dave's at it again, and this time his sights are locked on Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner was voted Woman of the Year. Her first year as a woman. Ain't that something? Beat every bitch in Detroit. She's better than all of you.
Dave called out the obvious hypocrisy, laying it with a signature mix of humor and sting.
Never even had a period. Ain't that something?
He even brought in a legendary rapper to hilariously underline just how ridiculous Caitlyn's victory lap looked.
If I was in a BET Awards sitting there and they're like, and the winner for Nigger of the Year, Eminem, my man.
And before the whole woke brigade could start buzzing, Dave was already firing off more hard truths, one after the other.
Gender is a fact. This is a fact. Every human being in this room, every human being on Earth had to pass through the legs of a woman to be on Earth. That is a fact.
Once the facts were on the table, he hit them with some brutally sharp reality bombs that left no room for spin.
Now, I am not saying that to say that trans women aren't women. I am just saying that those pussies that they got, you know what I mean?
And honestly, no amount of wokeness could have readied anyone for what he dropped next.
I'm not saying it's not pussy, but that's like beyond pussy or impossible pussy, you know what I mean? It tastes like pussy, but that's not quite what it is it? It's not blood, that's beet juice.
Okay, that was brutal, but not as brutal as what he's about to do to the infamous Puff Daddy.
But man, let me tell you something. This guy, Puffy, buddy, this guy is in an enormous amount of trouble. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. They got this guy in a RICO case by himself.
Now, ever since Diddy's case exploded online, the internet hasn't known peace. And while the world spiraled into chaos, curiosity locked onto one inevitable thought. Why wasn't Dave Chapelle anywhere near the fallout?
A lot of my friends ask me, they say, Dave, did you know anything about those freak-off parties? And I'll be like, nah, man. I don't know anything about freak-off. And they all look at me like.
Dave has always been guided by his conscience and moral compass. But hey, it doesn't mean he won't backfire with humor, though.
And they'd be like, well, how all these people you know was at the freak-off, but she's the only one that wasn't at the freak-off? And I thought about it for a minute. I said, oh, my God. I'm ugly.
He jokingly blamed it on his looks, but the message was crystal clear. When you've got morals, you can simply say no, no matter the access, the power, or even the temptation.
That's a tough way to find that out. Can you imagine if you were me reading the newspaper and found out everyone in Hollywood had an orgy behind your back? Like none of y'all called me? Well, it really hurts.
Classic Dave.
The stories that come out about it are crazy. I saw one thing on the internet, so I'm not sure this is true. Probably doubt it's true, but I saw it. Some guy who said he knew Puffy, like, yeah, man. He's like, I was at the freak off one time and I went in the back room and Puff was in there with Carl Winslow, with Dad from Family Matters. He was smashing and I was like, Puff, what are you doing? And he was like, yeah, it feels good to make another man do your bidding.
To Dave, this sounded completely wrong, but not for the reasons you'd expect.
And I was like, oh my God. Carl Winslow from Family Matters was there, and I wasn't invited? It's worse than I thought.
Dave then took another swing.
Or maybe I'm not ugly. I mean, look at my face. This is not necessarily a handsome face, but it's not an ugly face. But if you really study my face clearly, I have snitch energy.
Okay, well, Now that you mention it, yeah, you do look like someone who'd snitch. Huh.
Oh, I look like I'll tell. The last thing you want to see at the orgy is me across the room looking at you like. Leave Carl Winslow alone.
Dave kept dragging Puff through the dirt.
The idea is, as you live your life, you're supposed to evolve and grow past your mistakes. But if you get to be 55, and Puff is 55, he doesn't look old, but this nigga's paying half price at the movies.
Layer by layer, Dave left no glamorous corner untouched.
One senior Playboy. Ain't nothing wrong getting older, but if you 55 and you got 1,000 bottles of baby oil in the house, clearly, can't stop, won't stop. You're committed to the lifestyle. Because I'm 51, and I'm telling you, this is true.
Baby oil? But why? Oh!
I can't remember a single time I ever threw an empty bottle of baby oil in the trash. I don't think I've ever finished a bottle of baby oil in my life. If we went to my mother's house tonight, she probably got the same baby oil we had when I was a little boy with the pink top, and somehow Puffy was all the way down to the last.
Dave really has a way of turning the weirdest details into pure comedy gold.
And having baby oil is not illegal. They don't remind you about that part. That's the least harmful thing I read in that doc. He just used the wrong lube, I think. If he used Crisco, he would have got away with it. But he just been like, oh, he likes to cook. Thanks.
Dave, perhaps the reason they didn't invite you was this very moment. Not only would you have snitched, but you'd also roast them to a crisp, which, well, you did anyway. Oh, but Diddy isn't the only one getting served. Kevin Hart got a little taste of Dave's sweet revenge too.
Kevin is one of the greatest comedians that I've ever seen. And Kevin is one of the greatest men that I've ever known. Hello, Jerry. You bring joy to our environment. People don't know all the things that comedians go through and how difficult, how heavy it is to wear the crown.
Winning the Mark Twain Prize is huge for any comedian, and Dave was on stage toasting Kevin Hart for his achievement.
Every story of all the comedians that you help out, I know how you go back to Philadelphia and support your neighborhood. And I know that inside you feel awful sometimes, but I've never seen it on your face, and I've never felt it in your presence. And I am honored to know somebody like you.
All of his praise was beautiful. Kevin was nearly in tears. But with Dave Chapelle, of course, this was the perfect moment to dish out some revenge and call him out.
I really wish you would have come when I won this award. No, niggas was busy.
You go, Dave. Torch that guy. How could he?
In any given moment, the strongest dream in that moment wins that moment. And my God, Kevin Hart, you are a very powerful dreamer. I love you so much. And never forget that I said it, because we only get to talk on podcasts.
Dave. Roasting friends and foes alike. Anyway, moving right along, we've got yet another savage roast. This time aimed at Rachel Dolezal.
It's like that white black bitch that's in the news all the time. Rachel Dolezal. She always says that. She's a white woman, but then she dressed up like a nigga and shot her way up to the very top of blackness.
Rachel is a controversial figure mainly because of racial identity misrepresentation, and Dave's ready for some clapback.
And I always wanted to meet her just so I could understand. I just wanted to have dinner with her so I could just look in her eyes and call her a nigger to her face. I identify black. That is trans talk, ladies. Stop biting. Stop biting.
Well, Rachel, I guess the pinnacle of your career is right here, getting roasted by Mr. Dave Chapelle.
There's a big difference between her and a trans. The difference between her and a trans is I believe transgenders. I don't understand them either, but I know they mean what they say. Them niggas cut their dicks off. That's all the proof I need. I've never seen somebody just throw their dick away. Don't need it.